mean, it's not a hobby. It was a necessity. That's what they were telling me. It was a necessity. You had to have quilts for your beds, and you took old clothes and you made things out of old things and made new things out of old things, and you put it all together. My grandmother said, "You will learn to do this because this is who we are." I'm NedRa Bonds. Started doing handwork. I'll call it that because I didn't really make quilts when I was a child, but I learned how to do quilting, how to put 3 layers together, beginning when I was 6. And it was my great grandmother started the process, and my grandmothers, both my grandmothers, continued with it. And I say we because all the girls and some of the boys in my family had the same thing. We need to learn how to take care of ourselves, and we needed that. They would say we came through the Depression, and you will too. That meant learn those skills that you needed to survive no matter what happened. So that was the reason behind learning to do 10 stitches to the first knuckle on your forefinger. And we had to measure them, 10. And if we didn't have 10, we'd have to take them out and do it again. So obviously I hated it. First of all, I thought it was stupid to take perfectly good fabric or garments and cut them up and sew them back together. I thought that was the dumbest thing. But because I was always a rebellious child, I did it because I didn't like punishment, and I did do it. But I was an adult before I really saw the value in being able to do that as an art form. The first piece I did as an adult was the Quindaro quilt. Quindaro is the area of Kansas City, Kansas, where I grew up. And it historically part of the Underground Railroad. And there was an attempt in the late 80s, 1980s, to put a sanitary landfill on the old town of Quindaro, even though it was gone, it was ruins. But I just decided that wasn't going to happen. One of the things that was said was there are no documents and there are no images. Well, I said, hell, I can make images. So I did. I made the Quindaro history quilt and took it all over the state of Kansas. Took it to Topeka several times. The governor saw it, and we won that. I mean, it took 8 years to win that whole thing. There is no landfill at Quindaro. And the governor came to the site at Quindaro and signed that bill into law in front of my quilt. And I just went, okie dokie, the ancestors are telling me something. I need to do this. It's just fabric. Everybody can relate to that. Look, we come into the world, and the first thing they do when we come out of our mother's bodies is wrap us in fabric. When we leave this world, they put us in a case wrapped in fabric. Fabric is part of our daily lives as long as we live on this planet. And it's just fabric. So my thing is, I'll take that and do something with it to release this energy, this negative energy. It could be potentially negative energy inside me, and just put it out there in the world. Once it's out there, I'm done. I'm okay. You like it, fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. I just needed to do this. That's who we are. Called When He Ain't Thinking About Nothing. Okay? I had 2 sons who were teenagers, and raising Black males alone. I was divorced, raising them alone, and they would do some stupid stuff. And the constant question was, what were you thinking? Nothing. Thinking about nothing. And I knew. I knew. So this was kind of a collection of things that I saw them, heard them, know that they did when they weren't thinking about nothing. I have a whole series of things my grandmother used to say. My grandmother Patton was my father's mother, was a very educated woman, constant quilter. I mean, she had hundreds of them, constantly doing. Her thing was doing something with your hands. You have to be doing something with your hands. But she was also a teacher, and she was a minister's wife. Both my grandmothers were ministers' wives, so they had to be careful what they did with their hands, you know. But one of the things that she used to say was the sentiments when she went into the vernacular was because she was trying to make a point. I got that. One of the things she used to say is, the words may be different, but the sentiments am the same. When 9/11 happened, it was horrible. I mean, the whole world gasped with pain. I needed to do something with that pain. I felt it. And so I made that piece called The Sentiments Am the Same. American flag holding it, but on the other side of that flag are the names of African countries where 2,000 people die every day. So the words may be different, but the sentiments are the same. Working while black, you can wear your African costumes to work, because the Supreme Court said we could. You can celebrate your African connections outside work, not at work, connected to work, but you can wear your hair any way you want to, because the Supreme Court said we could. But you will be chained to your cubicle. So you'll notice the chains that keep her in place. She can only go so far while working. I was part of a group at UMKC. I was chosen by UMKC as part of a group that did an exhibit called Her Art. And it's an annual event. It's now at Interurban, but it started at UMKC. And there was a theme one year, Wonder Women. So I thought, okay, the Wonder Women I know are not skinny with a 20-inch waist. They're fat women, they're black, and they're local. And I included other women of color, because we go through so much stuff that people have no clue that people go through. In fact, I had a woman tell me one time, she said, white woman, who said to me, no matter what it is you go through, you always land on your feet. It never occurred to me. That's a Wonder Woman. That's a wonderful thing to be able to, that other folks see that you land on your feet no matter what happens. So, and I've been through some stuff. But I wanted to recognize other women who are environmentalists, who are local activists, who are go through the same thing. And I just wanted to, Wonder Women don't have to be skinny white girls. They're fat black women. we make some amazing changes. Do what you do. Do what your heart tells you. Get out of your head. Use your hands. Be involved with people in the community, and whatever, and putting all that together, find your way to do it. I'm not suggesting that everybody needs to use fabric in order to do it. For me, it's just fabric. I mean, it's just stuff. But by all means, make a difference. You may not even know it's a difference while you're doing it. You're putting your heart and your soul into this piece, whatever that is, and getting it off of you. That's the thing. Getting the energy, that negative energy, out of you through your hands onto something else. I never have a plan for the finished work. Never. I start with something small, whatever that is, either a piece of fabric, something, or an idea, and start to add things to that until I get an image that pleases me. When I watch people look at the work and they see things that I don't see, but that means that they connect in a way that's different from what I intended. That's what art does. It connects you in a way that the artist didn't necessarily intend. But that's what makes it art. Do whatever you want. A quilt has 3 layers. You know, there's a top, there's a batting in the middle, and there's a back. And as long as you have those three layers that are put together, it's a quilt. You know, you can call it, you can do whatever you want on any side of those, as long as you put those three layers together. Do whatever you want. The world is open for you. Do what are they gonna do to you?